For this section outlining the use of the SAFE service, I'm pleased to be joined by Dan Oyster, the General Manager of the Small Business Solutions Group at DigiData.
That's correct.
The key point to start in this section is, although it's easy to get into complexity, that's true of all aspects of computing in reality. So whether it's an iPhone or a laptop running Windows, we all know the complexity is there. The beauty and the value of all these things comes in making them easy to use. So a reminder of what SAFE, the store and forward engine, is before we go into the detail. It's a service that offers a fast, reliable storage target on your network that automates the movement of data files to a secure, private digital vault. There are thus two elements: the local NAS, or network attached storage, and the secure remote vault. Now, if that's more, IT speak than you'd like, you have a desktop folder, which is firstly your local backup and archive, and secondly that auto-magically, if you like, sends or retrieves data to your internet hard drive. Now, as with much in computing, there are two views. There's the GUI for setup purposes, graphical user interface, which is used by your IT consultant or IT provider. And then there are the folders that are all, frankly, that most users would ever need to understand. Dan, can you take us through both aspects of this just once more?
Sure. So on the setup side, you simply have to connect it to a network, which can be done through fancy words like DHCP.
Cool, DHCP, okay.
Or basically you can actually enter a static IP address. But really what you see on your network are a set of these folders that can be private or public. They're set up for backup or projects or whatever. It's a very versatile tool that your IT consultant can set up for your business. And then, as we've said, on the back end is a secure remote digital vault.
So most of that setup is going to be done for me probably by a consultant who will install this and get the parameters and so on right, so that most of it happens automatically.
Correct.
Auto-magically, as I was saying.
Auto-magically.
So now put yourself in the place of a user.
Right.
What have they got to be capable of
So
doing?
there's two components from the user perspective. One is whatever they choose to use for backup software. We do have an optional backup package we call SAFE Assure. The advantage there is it has this deduplication technology, so you don't end up storing multiple files at the same time. So you have this backup software and then the ability to drag and drop files into these folders. So if you have a certain group that wants to run a project and keep things all in one place, they can have a consolidated single storage place for their project data. The CFO, for example, may want to have a private storage place for financial folders. So there's the automagic side,
right,
which is backup software, and the manual side, if I may, which is a drag and drop archive.
The simplicity really is the beauty and the key to all this. Let me endorse the ease of use. We actually had a SAFE device delivered here yesterday for the purposes of recording the video, and our IT department had it up and running in minutes. It was one of the easier things they'd ever installed. Now, usually you'll use a IT consultant, whoever you're used to actually set the parameters and get it working as you want. But again, as Dan has been saying, it really is as simple as clicking, releasing, and dragging things. So there are also some more advanced features that I want to cover. You might not expect them in this sort of class of service, but they're there and they really are very advantageous if you care to take use of them. For example, Dan's already mentioned you can have a protected personal archive. That's great to separate out things even within a small business. Now, this class of two-tier online vaulting is new, although really it's just a combination of a few established technologies like network-attached storage, data management software, and the online vaulting itself. But it's the combination that really delivers what might be called best practices in data protection. Now, coming back to that list of advanced functionality, let me just add a couple of other things. These are really where the extra value of the SAFE service is found. The device has SQL, or Exchange agents, which means it's easy to interoperate with those very common applications. It has open file support. What's open file support? Well, let's be honest, not all of us close our files when we've finished using them, so that makes that particularly easy. And it also has a calendar-based or search by keyword recovery. What this means is that when you actually go to get something back, you can search by a word or a date to get what you actually wanted. Very, very easy. And there are many other functions we could cover, but the most important one of all I want to reiterate is one that Dan's already mentioned, which is this multi-stage deduplication. It sounds complicated, but it combines sounds complicated, I should say, but it combines compression, a thing called single instance store, and bit level deduplication, which all that put together assures that all files make it off-site, and that you are also moving and storing the minimum amount of data. You don't duplicate stuff. Now, this saves you lots of money by not having you store the same files more than once. Dedupe is a good thing. Now, indeed, you don't want to archive and the same email, the same attachment hundreds of times. And it's a valuable addition to the overall best practices relating to small business backup and data protection. Now, I mentioned best practices. Let's run through some of those and how SAFE actually meets all those criteria. At the first layer, if you will, you should aim for at least daily copies of all your crucial datasets, taken automatically and remaining available from your local network for fast restores, exactly as Dan has described. For the next level of data protection, data should be moved off-site. Again, preferably you want to do this daily. And where off-site, if it's initially on a disk-based target, it can still be recalled fast and reliably. And finally, and this is crucial, mentioned it already, you'll need appropriate physical and system security. Now that includes regular tests for backup integrity and a rollback option. So this section's covered a great deal with many terms, hopefully emphasize the simplicity, which is the key point. I do want to emphasize this practical ease of use. That's really where SAFE scores. For the vast majority of users, the vast majority of the time, this product really is a set it and forget it proposition, requiring no more ability to use than the drag and drop that we discussed. So, or a standard click on a file to open it if you need to recover it. To learn more about the business benefits or about DigiData themselves, then review the other chapters in this video introduction.